Hi guys, my name is Juliano and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are continuing a concept that I haven't done a lot recently, but we're back with the tier list videos, and I think the last one I did was the Ariana Grande discography tier list. If you want to check that out, link will be down below. This was pre-positions by the way, so that one isn't on the list. But anyway, I ranked all of Ariana's songs, I ranked all the Disney live action movies, I ranked all the MCU heroes. Again, this is an old video, so it has to be updated I think someday. But on my channel I have the tier list playlist, so you can watch all those videos right there. And today we're tackling a genre that we haven't done before. We're going to dive into the teen dystopian films. Ah yes, to be a teen in the early 2010s, like around 2012-ish, that era of movies, that hit different, okay? The young adult genre was thriving, okay? It was thriving. All of the popular book franchises were turned into movies. Now, quick disclaimer, I have read none of the original source material. Like, I wasn't a big reader like I was, you know, when I was in middle school, but then when I got to high school, that kind of changed. Now I'm really getting more into books. I literally have like 6 new books that I bought recently, and those are the only books on my bookshelf. So yeah, that's my resolution kind of. I really want to read more. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic. Point is, I haven't read any of the books these movies are based on, so I don't really know if it's a good book adaptation. I just know if I like the movie or if I don't. I actually came up with the idea to rank all of these movies because of my Shadow and Bone reactions. Like, I just finished filming my last one. I don't know when this video will come out, okay? My YouTube schedule is a mess. But after watching Shadow and Bone, which was based on a really popular book series, I was like, okay, let's look at all the movies that walked so Shadow and Bone the series could run. Like, some of these that I'm about to mention are plain forgetful and the other ones are iconic, so we're going to rank them. If you don't know me, what's up? I'm Juliano. I do movie commentaries and music reactions, so if you want to see more, just subscribe. And you can also follow me on my Instagram. Just do it, just click it, click it, click it. No, you can't even click it, but like, search for my username. Without further ado, let's get into the ranking. Okay, so these are the movies that I'm going to rank today because these are the only young adult book turned into movie films that I have watched. Like, I haven't seen Mortal Engines and I think just a few other ones. But these are the most popular ones, I think, that I have seen, so I'm going to rank them. Let's start off with the beginning, and this is I Am Number 4. And I have to say, guys, I was beyond pissed that this movie never got a sequel. I love this movie. This was the first movie that I actually bought on iTunes, like when I had my iPad, and I watched it all the time. Like, I seriously loved this movie. And I was a huge geek around the time. I think this movie came out in 2013 or maybe a bit before that. And I was super into Glee. So the fact that Diana Agron played in this movie and was like the main love interest, already sold on that. Like Alex Pettyfer, he was that boy. He was the main boy in like everything. Like, how can you not love him? And I have to say, out of all the movies that are here, I actually was most intrigued into reading the I Am Number 4 series. Yeah, I was like, since I'm not getting a sequel, do I need to read the sequels? But I'm a lazy fucker, okay? I didn't read it. I didn't read any of the books. But if I were to read any of these books, I'd pick the I Am Number 4 sequels. I don't know, is it iconic? I mean, how iconic can it be if it wasn't even successful enough to get a sequel or like start a franchise? And the movie wasn't perfect, okay? Some of the CGI and, you know, the ships weren't iconic. Like, I didn't necessarily ship Alex Pettyfer's character with any of the 2 girls. And I feel like you really have to have an iconic ship or like a canon ship in the series for it to be considered iconic, because the ships in teen movies are usually one of the most memorable parts of the movie. So I'm going to put I Am Number 4 in the good tier. Yeah, it was a good movie, really underrated, but I wouldn't call it iconic. Then we have The Host, and I have to say, Saoirse Ronan kind of carried the movie on her back because it wasn't really that interesting, the plot, and I thought the 2 love interests for her character were flavorless, to say the least. Like, it was so bland. The story wasn't unique. I wouldn't call the movie trash though. It had some cute moments. Like, it's entertaining. I'll give it that. It's entertaining, but it's kind of forgettable. I'm gonna put it in the meh category. I actually think none of these movies will end up in the trend. Well, maybe one. Mortal Instruments. Okay, so controversial opinion. If you compare Mortal Engines to Shadowhunters, which I didn't like Shadowhunters. That is the controversial opinion right there. I didn't really care for the show. I only watched the first season because I'm the type of person that if I start watching a show, I will at least give it until the end of season 1, you know? It was just, I don't know, a bit cheap. And it was pretty cringy in season 1, so I stopped. That being said, Shadowhunters was better as far as pacing was concerned. Like, you really could feel like they tried to squish in all the source material into this one movie. Like, there was a lot of shit happening. I do like Lily Collins. Like, I love Lily Collins in this movie as Clary more than Catherine McNamara. Yeah, that's her name. And I did remember wanting a sequel to this because it ended kind of in a what the fuck kind of situation with like, oh my god, they are siblings kind of. And I was like, okay, I want to know more. So it did leave me hanging for more. I'm gonna put it in okay because I'm not hurt to this day. Like with I Am Number 4, I'm hurt still to this day that we didn't get a sequel or a TV show. Wow, they should have made a sequel in the form of a TV show. That would be epic for I Am Number 4. Wow. Okay, wow. I'm sorry, I'm still bitter. Anyway, The Darkest Minds. That was a movie that came out pretty recently. I think in 2018. Where do I put it? I don't know. You know what? It was actually quite underrated, I feel like. I'm gonna put it in the good category. The thing is, the young adult dystopian era was a bit, well, not a bit, it was dying. Like, we didn't get a movie like that in such a long time that I was pretty sure we wouldn't get a sequel when going into this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out for Amanda Stenberg. Besides that, I'm not going to get my hopes up or probably even really like this movie since I know that it will end on a cliffhanger and we won't get closure. So yeah. Then again, I like this movie way more than I thought I would, and that's mostly because of the characters. I really enjoyed the characters, especially Chubbs and Zoo. Like, those two characters, I only wanted a sequel for them, honestly. Also, I really liked the power sets they had in this movie. So yeah, it was good. I think it was really good and it deserved a sequel, but I was mentally prepared that I wouldn't get one. So therefore I put it a bit behind I'm Number 4. Now we're going to start ranking the franchises. We'll start off with The Hunger Games, which is probably one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. Like, it ended on a pretty weak note, but then again guys, it was solid. It was solid. Even the ending, and I know some people hated the ending, I actually liked it. So the first Hunger Games, okay, we're going to put that straight into iconic. Like, yup, that movie was the shit, okay? I feel like such a fake fan now. Like, what was it? It wasn't this. Wait, let me Google it though. Hunger Games hand sign. Let me find out. It's this. I can't whistle for shit, sorry. But yes, I love this movie. It introduced me to one of my favorite movie characters of all time, Katniss Everdeen, the queen. She is amazing. Like, I was such a big Jennifer Lawrence fan because of this movie. I really loved it, and I loved the Joshua interviews. I was that much of a stan back in the day. Now I'm just like, okay, whatever, I've matured. But then, yeah, I had a whole phase. It was just so good and so intense. And like, I absolutely adored Rue. Like, Rue's death in that movie was one of the most heartbreaking things I have ever witnessed in cinema. That was like, I couldn't stop crying. I don't actually cry a lot when watching movies. Like, I get teary-eyed sometimes when I watch TV shows or whatever. But crying, no, I never really cried. I cried because of Rue's death, okay? That one just ripped my heart out. But the sequel, I'm gonna put it in iconic, but I'll also put it in front of the original Hunger Games. I love Catching Fire. Catching Fire was epic because she had to compete again, and this time in a contest of champions. So the people she is up against already know what to do, and they could be even more skilled than her. So that's why I was just more anxious this entire movie, because in the first one you can kind of guess like, okay, like this is your main character, she'll probably survive throughout the entire movie, because no one knows what the fuck they're doing. This is for all of them their first Hunger Games. This was the first time they had an all-star round, and this really switched up the game, and I absolutely love that. But also the fact that Peeta and Katniss survived in the first movie, and that never happened before, like two people surviving the Hunger Games, and it was so interesting to see their point of view, you know, as the power couple that is iconic and changed the Hunger Games forever. And by the way, we can't forget about the iconic fire dress. That dress, yep, they did what needed to be done. Now let's go to everyone's least favorite. Mockingjay Part 1, and it was well, it wasn't bad. Like some of y'all like to say it was bad, just like the books. Like I actually pretend like I know shit about the books. But I feel like from friends that have read the Hunger Games books, they all collectively agree that Mockingjay is the worst one. And in reflection to that, everyone dislikes Mockingjay the movies the most. But I actually think they are okay, they are decent. Part 1 is definitely the weakest though, because not much happens there. They do have a bomb soundtrack. Like, I love the soundtrack. That one was produced by Lorde. She nailed that shit. Like Yellow Flicker Beat, All My Love featuring Ariana Grande, still on repeat to this day. I mean, are you
coming to the tree, bitch?
Iconic, like the soundtrack, iconic. But the movie, we'll put it in okay, above. Well, is it okay, Juliano? Is it okay or is it good? I don't know. I feel like I definitely like this better than Mortal Instruments. But did I like it better than Darkest Minds? Yeah, I think I did. Did I like it better than I Am Number 4 though? No, I didn't. Part 2, I really liked that movie. I really liked that. Like, they torpedoed Finnick, my Finnick. Like, how dare they? But I think in order for a movie to be good, well, not in order for a movie to be good, but like a good quality of a movie is to take risks. And although like it probably happened in the book, I wouldn't know. But to kill off such a fan favorite, that's risky. That's risky. Like, they killed him and they killed Prim. Well, I didn't care much about Prim because like she kind of annoyed me. Not gonna lie, she kind of annoyed me. But yeah, Finnick, devastated. They ruined Gale's character. Oh yeah, that's something I also think like Gale was overhated. I really didn't hate him actually. I think I was I don't know, I switched between the ships, but I leaned towards Gale more in the first movie. They completely slaughtered his character though in part 2. So yeah, I'm glad with the penis. Was that their ship name? Penis? Okay, well, I was glad with their endgame, the penis endgame. I also didn't like part 2 better than I'm Number 4, so I'll put it between part 1 and I'm Number 4. Now we have Divergent, and Divergent was a good, solid movie. I don't really have a lot of thoughts about this franchise because it was just there. And I liked it, I enjoyed it, but I was never really a stan or anything like that. I didn't stand the characters per se. You know what? I did like the world building. I did like the concept. Like, it wasn't the most unique thing like after the Hunger Games. I feel like after the Hunger Games, people became a little more critical of, you know, young adult dystopian movies. And I really feel like that bit Divergent in the ass because that was the next franchise after the Hunger Games and it just doesn't compare. You know, you can't compete when you don't compare. The first one is good though. It was really good. It had great action scenes and I love Christina also. I think I like it better than I'm Number 4 because the graphics were better. Insurgent, I am an Insurgent defender, okay? I actually enjoyed that movie. I know some of y'all hate it. Y'all thought Divergent was okay and the latter two movies were just ugh. I agree about one of them, but that Insurgent, like that one was good. Not gonna lie. I liked I Am Number 4 better though. Did I like it better than Mockingjay Part 2? I think they are around the same quality in my opinion. Well, no. Like, it was a good movie, but I see Darkest Minds in the last place and I can't do it to that movie, so Insurgent is good, but at the bottom, you know? Allegiant, yeah, this one I might have to put in trash. Will I? Is it trash or is it meh? Because what is worse, like a movie with characters you love but you just hate the storyline, or a movie that is just plain forgettable, like The Host, like it's okay but you don't really care about it and never want to see it again. I think it's unfair to put it in trash. Was it trash? Maybe it was. Okay, I'm gonna put it in trash. I didn't like it. Like, I know there was supposed to be like a TV movie coming out to close off the storylines, but at this point I really didn't care. I really didn't care. They killed Tori. Like, okay, I previously said that I didn't stand the characters, but I really liked Tori. They did my girl dirty in that movie, and it wasn't even emotional like the Finnick death. No, it was just like she was a throwaway character and I couldn't stand behind that. Now, a franchise that is actually worthy of being next to the Hunger Games, which is the Maze Runner. I'll put the first one in iconic because I loved it. I absolutely love the Maze Runner. I love Dylan O'Brien. I love Dylan O'Brien. I love Dylan O'Brien. No, but for real, I love Dylan O'Brien. No, but the entire cast though was great. And the characters, I love the characters. I love them all. I love Thomas. You know, we'll get later to a character that I don't love, that I actually hate and despise.
And God, what exactly was coming to her?
Yeah, I absolutely love the Maze Runner. It was so suspenseful and it was great. I love the world building. I love the characters. I love the villain. Well, the villain was actually okay. I didn't love the villain per se, but yeah, it's iconic. It's not as iconic as the Hunger Games though. Like, let's be fair. Scorch Trials, another movie that I absolutely loved. This movie got paid dust though, and it got hated on because people were complaining like, wait, this isn't the Maze Runner, this is just a zombie movie, what the hell is this? What have they turned this franchise into? I loved it, okay? It added even more suspense. You didn't know what to expect because they were out of the maze. Finally, well, they were out of the maze, but sort of still in encapturement. Okay, well, whatever. You didn't know what to expect. It was great and it introduced us to Brenda. I love Brenda. I love Brenda, and this
fueled my hate.
Fueled my hate for the girl who shall not be named. The girl who shall not be named. I hated her. I hated her. I hated her. Okay, we'll name her Teresa.
Teresa, fuck you.
I'll put it on top of the good tier because it's not that iconic. It's not that iconic. Then we have the conclusion to the franchise, The Death Cure. We got that movie a few years later because of Dylan O'Brien's accident. When I heard that, I was so heartbroken. My entire social media was just worrying about Dylan and we were all just like so shook that it nearly killed him. Like, my heart is racing as I'm saying this because that was such a hectic time. I was so scared for him. But he turned out okay. And actually, this movie turned out okay. Although it's definitely the weakest one of the franchise, it concluded everything nicely, in my opinion. Yeah, it had good action scenes. Teresa died. Yeah, that happened. The enjoyment, oh wow. But yeah, to compensate for all that happiness, Newt died. So that sucked. I think within this entire tier list, Newt's death was probably the most, well, I feel like it's on the same level as Rue's death. That one destroyed me, okay? But as far as the ranking goes, the movie itself, I'll put it between Mockingjay Part 2 and Part 1. Yeah, I feel like that's a solid position. Then here we have, oh well, that's the second Scorch Trial photo that's in there for no reason. So that's it, guys. We ranked all the dystopian teen movies that I watched together. This concludes it. This is my ranking, guys. Wow. That took a lot of time. Do you agree though? Like, what are your favorite movies within this tier list and what are your least favorite movies? Let me know down below. Like, subscribe and share if you care. You can also follow me on my Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Well, that's it. Ciao.